Hello and welcome to Tracy Momi Reads. I am back with another video. Today, instead of doing a book review, I'm going to share with you guys some things that are on my bookish bucket list. Okay, that's like a whole tongue twister. Bookish bucket list. And I mean, I'm sure you guys are familiar with bucket lists, like where you, kind of put down things that you want to do, accomplish, or experience before you kick the proverbial bucket. Well, I decided to kind of turn that on its head and do things related to books that I want to do at some point before I check out. So let's get started. Number one, the first thing I have on here, and I know this sounds crazy, is a book that I want to read. Because yes, I have so many books on my TBR already. It's like, duh, that's what the channel was started for, to review books that I read. But, there are so many classic books and things that were assigned reading, like when you're in high school and college, that I never read, because like where I went to school, like we saw a lot of the Tennessee Williams plays and had to like talk about that kind of stuff. But a lot of the books, we didn't have to read them as required reading. I read like The Great Gatsby and Catcher in the Rye. I read those books like on my own, just for my own edification, to kind of be able to contrast and compare writing and authors from back then to now, and to just kind of be a part of the conversation. You hear references made to stuff. Oh, and I also read Catch-22. So yeah, you hear references made to stuff and you're like, where'd that come from? Or what does that mean? So two books from, like bygone eras from authors back then that are considered classics that I want to read, that I've never gotten around to reading, are going to be Another Country by James Baldwin and 1984 by George Orwell. I really want to read that. So I think I'm going to have to like put those kind of in the rotation, because I mean, they're books. It's like not like I have to wait for a special time or occasion to read them. So I'm going to be a bit more intentional about, getting those two read. Okay, number two, a library that I want to visit. There are some cool ass libraries like in the United States and in other countries as well, but like the architecture, the history, and things like that just make them places that you want to visit. We have a library like that here in Houston that I went to, that the name is totally escaping me. I just thought about it as I was talking. I'll have to put like the name of it, up top or something. But the library that I want to visit is the Kansas City Public Library. And I know that may sound crazy to some people, because you probably are thinking like the little library that's around the corner from your house or up the street or something, is like a public library. Like, what's the big deal? No, this place looks so magical. It just takes libraries and places like that to a whole nother level. Google it. I'm putting pictures, but it's an experience. Number three, bookstore that I would like to visit. And again, there are so many amazing bookstores throughout the country. And, a lot of times with regards to books, I know that I get a lot of them from the library, or I'll go, on Amazon or thrift books, or something like that. And I'm not a big Barnes and Noble fan. I'm not a basher either. I mean, it's a cool place to spend time. Their books are hella expensive in comparison to where you can get them from. But I still love the smell and the feel that I get going into a bookstore. And the last bookstore, that's the name of it, in Los Angeles, California. Talk about magical. It just looks like a book lover's dream. And I've been to Los Angeles several times, there for work or for pleasure, and never was on the agenda. But if I make it back to the city anytime soon, definitely gonna stop by there. I mean, because you gotta take a picture in that hollowed out book wall that they have there and post it on social media, or your life's just not complete. So the last bookstore in Los Angeles, California. A book to movie adaptation that I would like to see, and this is like that already exists, not one that I wish they would make. And we all know the books are better, than anything they can do, but there are so many movies. I don't think people realize how many movies have been made that are based on books, and a lot of those movies do become classics in their own right. So two that I want to see that I have never seen, and I have never read the books, Breakfast at Tiffany's and The Devil Wears Prada. I think I'm going to get to The Devil Wears Prada before the end of the year. Fingers crossed. Number 5, a book location that I want to visit. So this is like a location that was mentioned or written about in a book. I think I've told you guys a few times that in Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Eat, Love, Pray, because I don't think it's, or is it Eat, Pray, Love? I think it's Eat, Pray, Love. But based on her book, I went to Rome. And then in Shake Down the Stars by Renee Swindle, based on that, I went stargazing. So another book that I read where I would love to go on location is When We Were Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. I would love to go to New Zealand. Oh my God, the way that she described it, of course, had me going to, I mean, obviously I've heard of New Zealand, but it had me going to Google some of the places that she mentioned, and it is just such a beautiful country. And the one of the characters in the book who lived there, she had grown up in Malibu, and she was kind of contrasting, the two places, and just made it sound incredible. So those other two, Rome and the stargazing, they were amazing, things that I extracted from books. So I have a feeling New Zealand won't disappoint either. So at some point before I check out, I do want to make it over to New Zealand. Author to meet. I've met a few authors in my lifetime, at book signings and things like that. And one author that I would love to meet is Tia Williams. I have read all of her books. Totally obsessed with 7 Days in June. I used to follow her Shake Your Beauty blog. I'm waiting with bated breath for The Perfect Fine movie to come out on Netflix. And she just, she just seems so cool. She's a Prince fan. Come on. She seems like such a cool, fun person. And I think it would be pretty cool to meet her in person, in real life. And the last thing this is just kind of like a bonus. I would love to host an in-person book swap party. I know that's like the nerdiest thing you've probably ever heard. Probably not, but one of them. Few years back, me and an Instagram friend, we hosted a book swap, a holiday gift book swap thing where people who participated, like it was kind of like a virtual name pulling thing. You signed up and you said what kind of books you like, or maybe a book that's on your TBR, or maybe a book that you're interested in that you haven't bought for yourself. So we swapped the names and then we sent them to the respective people, and they had to buy a book, and they could buy other goodies if they wanted to, for the person whose name they had, and just get it to them by Christmas. And I think we started at early November or something like that. And that was pretty cool because, they shared pictures of what they received on Instagram and all that stuff. But I think it would just be a whole nother level of awesomeness to host a party like that in person and, have people maybe bring their favorite book. And before like the party starts, maybe you talk about why that's your favorite book. I'm planning this right now with y'all. Talk about why that's your favorite book. And then maybe they all like go on a shelf or something with numbers. And then the guests will pull a number and then they get that book. Or maybe they get to go pick what book, like kind of like the white elephant thing. I don't know. But I think I'm going to do that next year. Anyway, guys, thanks for indulging me today. Those are just some of the things on my bookish bucket list. Do you have a bookish bucket list? I would love to know some of the things that you have on that list if you do. And is there anything I should add to mine? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. And if you have not subscribed, now is your opportunity. Go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and turn on the post notifications. Thanks again so much for watching. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye.